LEGO has sent us the most recent ideas set, Pirates of Barracuda Bay. This set of 2,545 pieces will be available from LEGO.com as early as April 1st, 2020. I have joining me here the product designer behind this set, Milan, and the graphic designer behind the minifigures and the other graphics in this set, Austin. Hey, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Austin Carlson. I am the graphic designer for the current idea set. I'm the minifigure designer who worked on this.
Hi, I'm Milan Madge. I'm the model designer, and I worked with Pablo and Austin to design the Pirate Bay.
And who is the fan designer for this set?
So the fan designer for Pirates of Barracuda Bay is Pablo from Madrid, username Bricky Brick on LEGO Ideas.
Okay, and the thing that blew me away when I pulled this out of the box was this, what I would call a very overt connection to classic pirates. Is that a term that you use, classic pirates? Can we say that?
Yeah, the starting point, basically.
And the ideas set did not have sort of that clear a connection, because that's not really allowed in ideas, right? To bring back things that LEGO has done before. So what I'm really interested in is, at what point in the process was somebody like, oh, let's make this thing yellow and black and white, and let's put the stripe on the box, and let's really bring people back to their childhoods?
I think there's kind of two ways that happened. The first was us internally getting so excited about it that things escalated a little bit out of control. It kind of, yeah, it started by saying, model design process. My first process was to build Pablo's model, and we struggled with a few elements of that. Things like the raised base plate no longer there, so I had to kind of rethink the structure a little bit to get it to stay together. And he has a lot of, in his original submission, there were lots of boat hulls, and it was meant to look like a shipwrecked, a shipwrecked village. So we started going from there and thought, okay, what if these boat bits click together? And then from that, it was, well, if the boat clips together, what boat should it be? I don't think there was any hesitation. I think everyone was just like, Barracuda.
Yep.
So I think we knew that this was going to be the ultimate pirate set. So if it's the ultimate pirate set, it needs a boat.
It's so awesome. It's beautiful. I have it sitting right here. I was racing to finish putting it together to be able to meet with you guys and talk about it. And so I haven't actually taken the boat pieces back apart to assemble the Barracuda, but it is the Barracuda. We can call it the Barracuda.
Yeah. So I suppose the story that we wanted to tell was that I don't know if you remember on the back of the original Barracuda box, there's this story about Redbeard getting his crew, and they set off at sea and battled tornado storms and things like this. And then it says, you continue the adventures with your own imagination, or words to that effect. And I think what we want to say was, if the kids have continued that story, where's he been? Because he's been missing for years now. So we want to tell the story about where has Redbeard been in the years that LEGO has forgotten him. So this is meant to be the Barracuda because it's clearly he's been shipwrecked this whole time, and you can rediscover him and continue the story in your own way.
Black Seas Barracuda, it was my Christmas present when I was 6 years old. It has been my all-time favorite LEGO set for, almost my entire life.
Yeah.
And, so when I saw I'll try not to talk too much here. This is about you guys, but I've been geeking out about this thing so hard since I saw it. You took the ideas set to a whole new level, you took the Barracuda to a whole new level, and you brought them together, and you're telling us this story of what has happened in the last 30 years. And it's really incredible, and I'm going to try to stop my fanboy geeking out at that. But it's really beautiful. So what struck me...
Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem. What struck me is, as I was building it, there were these little hints to the original set all along. There's the really obvious stuff, the red and white sails, the color scheme, the overall shape of the boat. But there's these little itty bitty hints that I just caught here and there. And what I'm wondering is, the element palette is not the same. Man, this video is going to be so much geekier than I intended to be.
But we want that. We really want that. With us being so cooped up in the company, we usually just end up hearing the business side of stuff, which is draining. So being able to hear this is so gratifying for us, because we come from the same spot. We are both huge pirate fans, and being able to hear that from another one, it's so nice.
Yeah. Certainly when we were making the set, it was the whole time the importance of the thing you're trying to deliver for people like ourselves and for people that watch videos like this. So there was a huge amount of pressure on us, and I think the whole time we were going, is this the right, are we making the right decision? Yeah. Is this right? Are we doing it right? So to hear that people like it is it's fantastic, because I think both of us have been panicking a little bit for a while.
Yes. I think it's going to blow people away. Okay, so I think maybe the real question that I was trying to get at was, we've got all these elements that we didn't have in 89. We've got some elements from 89 that we no longer have. What was that dance like? What things were you excited to explore with elements that weren't around for the original Barracuda? And what were some of the challenges you faced with elements that aren't created anymore? Is that even worth talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That actually is probably the fundamental basis of the whole set, really, is this whole discussion about elements. So when I first made Pablo's original fan model, to build it, I had to go out to charity shops and find old Lego to build this model. The base plate, the boat hulls, the palm trees, the masts, the rigging, everything is 30 years old, and some of that stuff we've had until recently. But if you don't find the element in Pirates of Barracuda Bay, that's because it doesn't exist. I worked really hard to get all the old stuff still in it, but that just wasn't possible on a lot of things. So the big one is the raised base plate, and not having that meant a bit of a rethink of how we structured the whole thing. And then things like the boat holes. The modern boat holes are much wider than the original boat holes, and than the ones in the LEGO Ideas submission. So little things like that meant all the proportions had to change, and when the proportions change, the base has to move. And when you're making a model this big, that causes some real issues. But I think from a model design perspective, it was really clear that if we couldn't deliver the exact thing that Pablo had submitted and that everyone had voted for, then let's deliver what Pablo had dreamt about. So we had pitched this idea to Pablo and had a bit of a chat with him about, I guess the classic pirate skin that you're talking about was really trying to deliver Pablo's memory of LEGO Pirates from when he was a kid. There's a lovely story about pirates mean a lot to him because his dad got him into pirates, and his nickname is Little Pirate because of his love for LEGO Pirates. So we really wanted to capture his childhood in the model, and I think he was quite moved by it, actually.
Oh, yes. That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. All right. Thank you so much, Milan. Austin, tell us a little bit about our characters here. So we've got Redbeard, and we've got a whole crew here.
Well, we didn't want to make anything really too new. I mean, it's supposed to be a continuation of those classic pirates that we grew up with. I mean, Redbeard is like an icon to LEGO. It's one of the pillars. You think of space, pirates, town, and castle, and it's Redbeard representing pirates. It's I don't want to change that. It's like, yeah, we want to be able to age him a little bit, so he has a bit of gray in his beard now as a joke. Which, it was a detail that took me a while to get on board because I was incredibly protective of Redbeard. Like, he is my favorite minifigure. I still have the original version that I had when I was 4 years old.
Me too!
So, like, yeah. So you know exactly what I mean by that. It's like I really did not want to diverge on the icon, but like bring it up to speed with our current designs with the minifigures while giving a breath of new air to them. But it was challenging, and as Milan said with the process, it was us kind of panicking, like going, are we doing this right? Are we doing it in the right way? Are people going to appreciate and love this? And I think they are. I mean, we're always going to have in the back of our head, like, oh, I hope everyone enjoys this. But it's like, yeah, I can't. There's not too many minifigures where I'm like, oh boy, am I doing this right? Like this one really, I was paying attention to.
Oh man, I love it. It's so good. What about the other characters here? I recognize the twins, right, from the original, and I love that they've got those like handlebar mustaches now. We didn't have those in '89. Who else do we have here?
So we have Ann Anchor, I believe. Like if you saw in the building instructions, all the bios that we helped flesh out a little bit of their stories and such. Some of them were inspirations, while others were continuations. Like the one with the tattoos, Tatuga, is. Do you remember the pirate that wore like a purple vest that had an anchor on his chest?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same minifigure. So the idea with them being shipwrecked for so long, he started adding more tattoos on his body. So that's why he has like Topsy parrots on him, and including the ship on his back as well, mermaids.
Yeah.
And for the hardcore fans that like read the Ladybird books, like Ann Anchor is supposed to be Anne from that little girl from the books.
Oh.
She's now grown up and she's now has more of a role of like handling the crew and such. So it was really fun for Milan, me, and quite a few others to add a bit more lore to the pirate stories, but continuing them also with as much respect from us being fans also. I think the biggest icons for those figures were like the original colors that Lego had in their palette, which was like yellow, blue, white, red, and a little bits of greens. So it's like when we are doing the updates, like a lot of graphic designers, when they do updates, they just make everything darker. And I really did not want to do that with these pirates. It's like, yeah, Lego pirates are colorful and bright, and I don't want to change that. It's such an icon to them.
Yeah, well,
I actually tried a version with some of the. We had like a dark green and a dark red at one point on some of the characters, and I think we looked at them and just said it has to be. Yeah, it has to be the bright colours.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Tell me a little bit about the box. The box is such a throwback, and you know, I mentioned my conversation with Voltron, with Neek about Voltron, and that packaging moved me so deeply, you know, as a child of the 80s, and this, you know, even more specifically, something very specifically Lego, a throwback for Lego, to put that yellow stripe on there with that, you know, light blue kind of sans serif font. Who works on that, and what can you tell me about that process?
Well, I definitely have to give credit to Sam, our design lead for all of ideas. He's the one that, you know, also handled Voltron and stuff like that. He really pushed to make sure that this was the ultimate nostalgia product, and the box is the selling point to this product. So capturing that was so important to him, and he definitely had quite a bit of battles to make sure that that box got that way.
Yeah, we had a meeting with the people doing the packaging on this one, who are also huge Lego Pirates fans, actually.
Yeah.
And I remember Sam just invited me to this meeting and said, can you bring a Barracuda? So we went to the archives at Lego and got a brand new in-box mint Black Seas Barracuda. Yeah, I know. We were pretty excited about it. We took it to this meeting, and Sam just put it on the table in front of the packaging people and said, "Make this."
Oh, it's awesome. That's wonderful. Okay, so both of you, Austin, Milan, can you tell me one or two details that are your favorite about this set?
It's it's a long list. I mean, it's almost like pointing out everything in the product. Really, I mean, it's like painful right now that I don't actually have the set myself. Like I really want it also. But yeah, the detail wise is that like I mean Redbeard. I mean the fact that I was able to design that, like, I love being able to go through that, updating and, you know, reconnecting with those childhood memories of growing up with them, like doing the update for Johnny Thunder or doing an update for Dash from Ultra Agents. It's, I mean, Alpha Team. There's been so much stuff. But with this, the other thing, talking about memories and stuff like that, would be the Guard Inn sign, because it has Jose's Inn written on it. And Jose is Pablo's father's name, who, you know, as we mentioned earlier, got him into Lego and Lego Pirates, and that was such a good connection to be, because, I mean, most of us know that we grew up with Lego through a parent or another loved one or something like that. And this whole product, I mean, it's just a connection with that and such good memories. So I love that element. I'm really happy that we were able to get, you know, that through.
Yeah. At the age that I received the Black Seas Barracuda, I probably could not have built it by myself. You know, and so I remember my dad and I sitting on the floor, and this was a house that we had when I was 6 years old, and
Yeah.
and so that memory and having the things sit around my entire life, and so I'm just so excited to show this thing to my dad, and he has no idea. Anyway, he might not geek out about it as much as I am, but because you know I'm sure he was probably 38 when I was 6, forming 6-year-old memories, but.
Yeah.
All right, Milan. Any couple of details that are just your favorite in the build?
Yeah, I mean, as Austin said, this is a really difficult question. I've been asked also like which are my favourite Easter eggs in it, and it's just impossible because the whole set is just one huge Easter egg, right? So yeah, maybe I don't know if this answers your question because it's not going to be build related, but I guess the two main things for me is one, I guess Lego Ideas is about bringing a fan's idea or dream to life in a real Lego set, and I think you know we've done that in the past, but this has really gone a whole nother level. You know, this is such a personal thing for Pablo, and to be able to deliver something that you know made him as happy as it did when we showed him. That's what we come to work for, you know. So yeah, that connection with him was amazing through this. Other than that, I think the build of the model is kind of a bit of a different approach. I don't know if you noticed this, a bit of a different approach to a normal big Lego model. The whole thing is lots of little stories, and the build is actually quite reminiscent of an old Lego build, I would say. It's all big chunky bricks, and every time you build something, you know, you don't build any structure. Nothing is wasted. You build a little island, and then you have a story there, and then you build the boat, and you've got a bit more story. You build the structure that the pirates have been building whilst they live there, a bit more story, a little animal farm thing. So every bit you add has meaning. That you're not building anything thinking, why am I building this sideways Technic frame thing? Everything is like a thing, and I think that reminds me a lot of classic Lego. That when you're building stuff, you know what you're doing. You know you're making a castle wall, or you know you're making a statue or a tree house, or And that's what I like about this set, is that the whole thing is you're playing throughout the whole process.
This is a new pirate flag, right?
Yes, well, an updated version. So it's pretty close to the original, except for the skull is closer to a minifigure shape.
Okay.
For the head. There was, I believe, well, in the 2000 and when was that one? 2015? Was it? It wasn't 15. It was the one before that one.
2009.
Yes. Where they changed this shape, but they made the skull very goofy, like they had angry eyebrows on it. And I remember the first thing that Milan came over and said, like, "We're not doing that. We're totally not doing that." And it is, it's like, we wanted to make sure that, like, the Jolly Roger is as classic as what you would imagine a pirate to have, and not really go too far cartoony with it.
I think for me, when I was a kid, and I guess you guys are going to have the same story here, the pirates weren't necessarily the bad guys. And I think, I mean, obviously pirates are very bad people, but the thing that's nice about Lego is the idea that the kid can choose. You know, I think old Lego themes had that kind of freedom where you could pick what you wanted. You know, the pirates could be friends with the Imperials if you wanted them to be. And for me, the design that Austin's done on the Jolly Roger is kind of reminiscent of that. It's not saying here's an angry skull, pirates are the evil ones, or it's leaving it open for you to make your own mind up.
Yeah.
As neutral as a skull and crossbones can be, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome. Speaking of the skeleton is wearing the Imperial hat, right?
Oh yeah.
So
there's two, right? There's two skeletons.
Oh right. There's one in the jail, and there's one sort of hiding under the part of the hull there.
Yeah, and we actually gave them names that didn't make it into the building instruction.
Are you allowed?
But maybe you can have them.
Are you allowed to say what those names are?
The one with the Imperial hat on is called Roger, because he's not jolly because he's dead, and the other one is Captain Jack Stone, and he's never coming back.
Captain Jack Stone. Oh man. And how did you two end up on this project?
The love for pirates, basically.
Yeah. I tried to play it cool the other day and said that Sam offered me it, but he seems to remember it differently. He says that we were both begging.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Awesome. The thing is iconic. I'm absolutely in love with it. You did a really, really wonderful job. How long would you say from the time you knew it was going to be a thing to the time like now it's on the shelves? How long was that?
I don't actually know if we're allowed to tell you that.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I'll tell you that it was far too quick, and I didn't sleep a lot.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fine. I think it's lovely. Thank you so much. I can't say enough about it. I really appreciate both of your time. Is there any one last thing you want to interject?
I'm excited to hear what you think of the boat, the next step in the instructions.
Yeah.
It's unusual to take a Lego model apart in the instructions, and I think it caused the BI team, the building instructions team, a bit of a headache. Peter, the guy that was working on this one, did a great job, I think. But yeah, it's an odd thing to have building instructions to disassemble something in the correct order. So I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have the time to do that before we talked, because I'm sure I'll have many more questions about it. But I absolutely love the island. The other thing that I forgot to mention is they have an awful lot to drink on this island. It seems like there's a lot of bottles.
But they're all empty, right?
Yeah. They're all empty. Yeah, good. Okay. Hey, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
No worries. And if you think of anything else, just drop us an email, and we'll be very happy to answer.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And for those of you at home, you can get this set on Lego.com on April 1st, 2020. Thank you so much to Lego for sending us this set so that I could share this time-lapse build with you. Thank you to Milan and Austin for joining me. For all of you watching at home, thanks so much for watching.